Hello, Daily Ukuleles. This is John from John's Ukulele Cafe, and today's song is Act Naturally. This song originally came out in 1963 from Buck Owens, and then subsequent year, came out with the Beatles and their country album that they had, with Ringo singing the vocals. Later, they would combine their vocals in the late 80s to do like a redo of the song on Act Naturally, and I think it won a Grammy or something like that. So this is a great song. Today's lesson, I really want to talk about memorization and how important it is. And it's songs like this that, you can keep working on that'll stay in your memory rather than having to read the page as you go. So there are some different strategies I can give you to memorize this song. And this is a little bit different than the original song. The original song is actually in the key of G, but the Daily Ukulele version is in the key of D major. So there's a little bit of a difference there. So when the Beatles sing it, it's like, they're gonna put me in the movie. They're about that high, where this one is gonna be more like, they're gonna put me in the movies. You get the idea. Just a little bit lower, and it fits within that C to shining C, the middle C to like the octave C higher than that to sing. For most people's voices, that works. It takes a little bit of the drama out of the singing part, though. So it is what it is. It's written really well in the Daily Ukulele book, and it fits on one page. So we're going to go with that one today. If you like this channel, hit like and subscribe down below where you can catch many more daily ukulele videos. This past year, I just finished the yellow songbook, and we're into the blue songbook. I think I've done about 20 to 30 songs, but I'm trying to go in order in the book. That way it's easy to find where we're at. So we're on Act Naturally today. Let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial. All right, so Act Naturally only has 4 chords, and for the most part, we just stick to 3 of those chords, the D, the G, the A7, and then the E7 is a special use case, and I'll explain that in just a second. So let's go section to section. We're gonna start at the very beginning of the piece. In the original song, there is a little intro, but in this version, it just starts right on the verse, okay? So your first chord is a D, and let's just begin by singing this section, okay? So we're D, we go to G, and then back to D. 1, 2. They're gonna put me in the movies. So we're on G now. D, gonna make a star out of me. So A7. So we've already gone through 3 chords. So we have D for 2 measures. We go to G. We go to D. And then A7. And stop. So if we put these chords into like numbers, our home key or our home chord that we have is D, okay? So let's just call that 1. When we go to the G chord, that is a 4 chord, D, E, F, G. We go back to 1, and then we go to the 5 chord. And in this case, it's a 5. 7 chord, it has a 7th in it. And then that takes us back to 1. We do the 4 again, the 5, and then the 1. All right, and that's the whole section. So it's like you're doing the same thing twice. Let's do the whole section this time. And I'm going to see if I can do it from memory. Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3. They're gonna put me in the movies. They're gonna make a big star out of me. We'll make a scene about a man who's sad and lonely. And all I gotta do is act naturally. If you're going for memorization, for me, I always think it's the words that make it the hardest for me to remember. So in my mind, I'm going to, think of a random person being put in the movies. That's naturally sad. That's the first verse that we have. Well, the next section, I don't know what you want to call this next section, a bridge or something. It just does something different. Instead of staying in D, it kind of hangs around the dominant, the A7. So it's like this. Well, I bet you I'm gonna be a big star. Goes to D. Back to A. Might win an Oscar, you can never tell. D. A. The movie's gonna make me a big star. Let's stop right here. The first time we have the E7, okay? So E7 being ceiling to the floor, frets 1, 2, 0, 2. Now, why is this in this song? It doesn't really make sense if you kind of figure out like chords that would go with scale degrees and stuff. Well, we need to find out what the next chord is. So we're on an E7. The next chord is an A7. And if you tune into my last video, I was talking about like 5 of 5 chords. Okay. And if you haven't seen that, go check that out. I tried my best to explain kind of like secondary dominant chords, and that's what that is. In most songs, you're going to have either the tonic, which is the 1, or the 5. In this case, we get a secondary dominant, which is like before we get a 5 chord, we get another 5 chord. This 5 chord is E7, 5 of A, right? Because E, F, G, A is, you can do the reverse math. Basically, E is the 5 chord of an A, and the A is a 5 chord of D. Okay, so when you go in this section, just remember that we start on the 5 chord, and it just goes back and forth with the tonic, right? Win an Oscar, you can never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star. Here comes the secondary dominant, 'cause I can play the part so well. And we're back to the original verse. Well, I hope you come and see me in the movies. Right? And that's pretty much the song. If you think about it, it's kind of like you have a sandwich. You know, the first and the last section are like the bread. And then in the middle, we got this like piece of dominant meat. Hate to use that analogy, but that's basically what you have. If you want to think about it in a structure form, right? Okay, and then now we just have to know the lyrics, right? So let's finish this out on the first page. So I hope you come and see me in the movies. Then I'll know that you will plainly see the biggest fool that ever hit the big time. And all I got to do is act naturally. All right, so let's start from there, okay? So, well, I hope you come and see me in the movies. Then I know that you will plainly see the biggest fool that ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally. And then we go back to the very, very top. We'll make a scene about a man that's sad and lonely and begging upon his bended knee. I'll play the part, but I won't need rehearsing, and all I gotta do is act naturally. So, you know, it just has this rhyming scheme, okay? So, yeah, this is a pretty easy one. If you're looking for songs that you can play from memory without having to look in the book while you play, this would be a really good one. Don't know if I can do it fully without looking at the lyrics today. I'm just starting this one back up today. I've covered the song many times before. We just had a concert this weekend today, and then we had a concert with our student rock bands on Friday. So it's been a kind of whirlwind week, but I'm looking forward to doing the recording of this through with you, and I'll write the tab out as we do this too. So I hope you enjoy, and this is Act Naturally. 1, 2, 1. They're gonna put me in the movies. They're gonna make a big star out of me. We'll make a film about a man who's sad and lonely. And all I gotta do is act naturally. Well, I bet you I'm gonna be a big star. By winning an Oscar, you can never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star, 'cause I can play the part so well. Well, I hope you'll come and see me in the movies. Then I'll know that you will plainly see the biggest fool that ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally. We'll make a scene about a man who's sad and lonely, begging down upon his bended knee. I'll play the part, but I won't need rehearsing. And all I gotta do is act naturally. Well, I bet you I'm gonna be a big star. Might win an Oscar, you can never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star, 'cause I can play the part so well. Well, I hope you'll come and see then I'll know that you will plainly see the biggest fool that ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally. All right, well, thank you for tuning in today. I realized through the video I didn't really go over a strumming pattern, so I can do that with you real quick. The easiest way, if you can just strum for every beat of a song, that's the easiest way to do it. All right, now I think I was going, they're gonna put me in the movie. So that's like down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, down. So it's like on beat 4, like 4 and 1, da da da, down up down. That's kind of generally what I was doing on this one, and it also has a light swing to it, like all the way through. Is a I think you'll find that it's like a country swing to it, but a little bit more upbeat. Well, I hope you enjoyed playing along with me today, and I'll get to working on the tab. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.